usually in October. So she has been to Uganda several times. We need to know what her favorite place is. And ladies and gentlemen, Birgit is here with me. Did I get the name right?
Yes, the name is wonderful. Perfectly spelled.
Good morning, and good to have you here.
Good morning, Stella.
How are you? Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very well. I'm in Uganda. I'm well. I love the country. I love the people.
Okay.
And I'm very excited about being invited here this morning.
Oh, we are excited to have you as well. You say you love Uganda. What is your favorite place in Uganda? Other than Kampala, have you been to Jinja?
Jinja.
Jinja. Okay, good to have you. You can say hello to the person who is watching us.
Hi. It's so good to see you all. I'm very happy you're following us. It's going to be an interesting hour, I can promise.
Okay, let's talk about Cornerstone Domino.
Yes.
What is it and what is it about?
Okay, Cornerstone Domino is a small German NGO.
Okay.
Voluntary people that understand themselves as partners of those who want to work themselves out of their challenges.
Okay.
To get on their feet. And we come from different countries and we have a different migration backgrounds.
Okay.
But we are located in Germany, and as I said, we are acting worldwide, but we are so far very much in East Africa. And we have a basic idea to do things different.
Okay. And that's what I want us to get into. Different. How different? But how did you get into this? Who bore that idea of Cornerstone Domino?
Yeah. Well, when I was a member in state parliament, I often saw politicians who cared for themselves, but I also met people who cared for people.
Yeah.
But you know what they did? They sought for the people. And I always had the feeling, no, you don't need to think for that headmaster or for that company. You go and talk to the leader, to the expert on the ground, because they know perfectly what they need and how to solve the problem. They have an idea about it. So follow that line.
Okay.
And this is what I found really successful. And when I had a look in development work, and I had some opportunities to look into development work, I was so disappointed by what I saw, because there was full hearts. I mean, a lot of Christians also, they put their love and their heart in helping people, but they do it in a way that these people become very uncreative, very passive, and very dependent.
Yes.
And I thought this cannot be. I mean, we're not living in colonialism times anymore. So we should have an eye level in dealing with one another, and we should not take responsibilities of people, because that makes them small, that makes them children. So there must be another way. Okay. And then I met a lady who from another NGO who invited me to come with her, and therefore the first time I got the idea it can be different.
Yeah.
And then I met other people in Bremen, in my home city, who had that same idea. It must go different.
Yes.
And then we came up with that basic idea that I brought from that other NGO, but we don't do it only on behalf of fighting poverty, but the principle, we enroll it in many different fields. Like,
and that's what I wanted to ask you. What are some of the fields you're trying to tackle in Cornerstone Domino?
Well, one is definitely fighting poverty, bringing people in a situation where they can create their own income, care for the children themselves, so they not strangers need to come and be sponsors of children and feed children or orphans or whatever, but to enable them to create a business so they can care for food, for clothing, for health, for education. So what is their responsibility as parents? And we don't see a good thing in it that people take that off them and do it for them. because that takes the responsibility of people and makes them very small, makes them like children, you know.
Yes.
So this is an area. Another area is peace and reconciliation. We had enormous effect. I mean, that was one of the most dynamic areas where people start to peace and reconciliation trainings that would just spread and spread and spread and spread.
Yeah.
But also food forest, also hygiene. For you in your country, very well known is the reusable pads.
Yes.
So there was one situation when a girl called me from Tanzania and asked me to pay for sanitary pads for 10,000 of girls every month. And I said, even if I had the money, which I do not have, this is not how we work. And I said to her, why don't you make an internet research and check how other countries solve that problem? And end of the story was they solved the problem all by themselves without us investing a single cent, you know. And they did it, and they were proud on it.
Yeah.
And I thought if we would have accepted that in the beginning, how much money, how much dependency, how much waste, how much environment,
just how much load
damage
would have been lifted off even all the countries. And you know, Ms. Beged, I feel like that is what makes you unique, because I do not see that often, especially with people coming through to help in the areas that you've stipulated.
Yes.
Most of them, they come with the money, they come to help, but not to find solutions. And it goes to anyone who is watching us this morning. You are not too badly off that you do not know how to solve the issues. Sometimes you need to be pushed into the direction of thinking outside the box so that you can get the solutions to the problems that you face in your communities. Now, one of the things you talked about, Ms. Beged, you mentioned peace and reconciliation, and you told me earlier that one of the countries where you are is Congo. How do you go about that in a nation that has seen so much bloodshed,
Yes.
so much displacement in the
Yes.
communities? How do you go about that?
in the Congo, as it's always, normally the people approach us. So in the Congo, we are not into peace and reconciliation. We are into peace and reconciliation, for example, in Burundi.
Okay.
But in the Congo, we cooperate with an academy where they have trauma-affected students, and our people started to mentor these students. And then they realized sometimes when these students, even if they have very good marks and even a sponsorship, and they have the chance to go to a university abroad, in the very moment when they have to leave, they do not have the money to get their documents translated, or the entrance fee, which altogether is not too much money, but if they don't have it in that very moment, they lose it. And the chance is gone. So we were thinking, so what can we do to solve that problem without solving it for them? So we sit together, and and there the idea is a revolving fund. So we discuss with them. We are happy to fill that fund once, but then you create an organization and you have to think about how you do it. So you care that this fund would be filled again and again by the people who have the benefit out of this.
So you help them get into the door or into the room, but they have to do the work to stay there. I like that. Now let's get into the domino effect. If you have been following, Ms. Beged says that they concentrate on finding solutions. No, you coming up with the solutions, you suggest the solutions. And what they help you is that they investigate how that one solution will get down into the other solutions that the community has. So she is going to be demonstrating that domino effect. How do you solve one thing but end up solving all the other things that are around it? So please go ahead.
I brought one of these. I don't know whether they are known everywhere, but in Germany we call them domino stones. So domino refers also to the Lord, but it is this stone. And if this stone would represent the challenge that someone has, then the normal development work would be the people outside defines the challenge.
Okay.
And
So let's give an example of girls do not have sanitary pads.
yes, then I would go and pay for the sanitary pads for this girl for 1 year.
Okay.
So then the problem is solved.
Yeah.
But what is next year?
Yeah.
What is with the next girl? What is so? And and what we do now is okay. You define what is the challenge, not we who come from outside.
Yeah.
But our partners. We call them, by the way, that is our name, cornerstone domino. So
Yeah.
the cornerstone is always our reliable and normally personally known partner that we pick very careful. I mean, we have been eaten with that person. We have been at their places.
Yeah.
We know what.
So you know that they stand for the same values as you, they get the vision as you, so that's what makes it the cornerstone.
And we know that on the cornerstone depends the whole building. So that is the same thing. The project will work if that person is the right person. And that is why we have a lot of, it's a grassroots movement, not a management interest, not a management instrument that you put top down,
Yeah.
but it's a trust thing that grows
Builds
from the
up.
bottom and that starts with relationship.
Okay.
So now we have that relationship with our cornerstone, and that cornerstone has an NGO, something that is also registered in the country.
Okay.
If he does not, then he will do that.
Yeah.
Because we need
Okay.
people who are accepted from
Yeah.
the country, and we
And
need
up straight.
and we need a bank account
Ah.
to be clear.
Yeah.
Also to the tax office. So now that person and with his group, they define what the challenges on the ground are. And normally they have a local idea how to meet that need.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to discuss a little bit, but what we mainly discuss is, okay, if that one problem is solved, how can we make sure that the first solution will trigger the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one.
Yeah.
And then it depends very much on, and sometimes these stones, this one can be bigger than that, this can be bigger than that, this can be bigger than that, and
Yeah.
bigger and bigger and bigger. And sometimes this stone can also serve another line and another line and 3 lines or something. So all this is in the whole concept of, we call it domino dynamics. That is the dynamic we are talking about here.
Yeah.
So and then comes the question, okay, how can we release this? How
Yeah.
can we release this? And very, very often in very poor country, it is a start investment. It's money.
Yeah.
A little bit of money that we have to put in here. And now I give an example. If a group of ladies gets an amount of money and works themselves out, build a little income resource, once they gained as much that they can live, but also that they got that out again, so normally we say a year,
Yeah.
then they pass it on to the next group in the community, and to the next, and to the next, and to the next.
Okay.
And that really works.
Yeah.
And I have never heard in development aid that the passing on is 100%. I mean, here it's just what you got.
Yeah.
And resources, you pass it on to the next.
Yes.
And this is how the ripple effect really works. But sometimes it is not always money. Sometimes it's an animal. It's, say, a cow or something. I can also tell examples by that. Or sometimes it's an idea. Sometimes it's whatever. So now, if they have that cow, it will release the ripple effect.
Yes.
And they are not dependent on us.
Yeah.
This runs without us. When they passed it on to their brothers and sisters, the second, the third, the fourth time, there is not known anymore that the very beginning was that team in Germany.
I
Which
just
is good.
I just listen to you and I think of communities or countries that would be far off if they were not waiting to beg from the Western world or from the white man, as we may call it, because now they have been set up for that kind of creation. I like that. Now, what are some of the challenges that you have found up, especially when you're setting up? I know you mentioned some of them who probably want to set up, but they haven't gone through the proper channels in the countries. They don't have a bank account. So what are other challenges that you have found, especially when you're setting up in East Africa?
Mm-hmm. Well, some of the challenges I have with my own team.
Okay.
Because we, as they, are very much used to that to that classical way of
help, giving, taking.
Charity.
Yeah.
Charity thing. And often it is that we have so good ideas,
Yeah.
and they love to give their ideas. And we say, go, bit slow.
Yeah.
And then they say, yeah, but I mean, this is why we are in there. So we should be able to give our ideas. What can we do? And then I say, give them the first shot.
Okay.
And then we have the idea of, we put a basket in our midst.
Yeah.
And all the ideas that people have, we put in that basket. But the decision, what to take out, what is useful for the people on the ground, what to take out, what to implement, how to implement it, is always with the people who have the challenge. So how can I know what a woman in Kampala, HIV positive with 10 children in the slum, I can have ideas,
Yeah.
But she's the expert of her life. And
Yes.
she has to check what will really help. So by this, we really have an eye level. So no one is passive.
Okay.
We sit in the Zoom. Everyone can introduce his idea, but we have the idea. These ideas are all in this basket, and the responsibility remains with the people on the ground. And it must be like that, because then they identify themselves with what's going on. It's theirs. And for example, if you have people in Burundi, when you discuss things and you found the solution, you see them dancing. They stand up and dance, and then now it is their solution. Now there is the energy.
Yes.
And it's not the money that produces the motivation. It is that it is theirs.
Yeah, that it came from them, they recognized and they want to do better. So you've set them up on a path to do better, and that is what they follow through. Because you are making some good points. Oftentimes when someone brings you a solution that is far off, it's like people who go to the gym at the start. If the gym is far off, high chances are you're going to drop out of the gym in the first month. But if you got a solution and you're like, with what I have bricks at home, I have this space at home, I have a rope, I can jump from here, then it's very easy for you to sustain it. Let's talk about success, the good things. Now that we've talked about the challenges, let's talk about any successful projects that you have been a part of.
So I start with Burundi because this is the poorest country I think we are working in. And for example, we have there these very well working groups of single mothers who pass on their little income that they create. But then, and one day, they came to us and said, we have another challenge, and that is that the ethnics fight one another before the wars, before the elections especially. And we need a peace and reconciliation training. Would you pay for this? And I said, no, we're not such an NGO. And they say, yes, we know. You do these ripple effect things, the domino effect. So that is what we were thinking about. So what we would like to do is a train the trainer program.
Okay.
Would you finance the first training program?
Yeah.
So our partners on the ground, then the NGOs is called Better Life Initiative, and we financed a training for 15 people from Better Life Initiative.
Okay.
But they developed the training themselves.
Okay.
And then that was in September 2024. And in November they called us and said, now 153 groups with 3,850 people went through the training. And I said,
What? Even?
and I said, I have a look. And then we flew there in beginning of January 2025. And I was in the mountains, I was on the rice field, I was in the slum, I was in the city. And everywhere were these people telling me about this peace movement, because it changed the whole atmosphere.
Wow.
And they showed us, they played this, this theater on the ground. They played their conflicts and how they solve it. When do they introduce a moderator? And they also... So the whole concept was designed that even people who can't read and write
can understand.
And that is, I think, was one of the secrets why it spread so well on the ground.
Yeah.
It spread like mad because everyone, the children could understand it, the prisoners could understand it, the people who haven't been in school, the old people, the single mothers, everyone could understand it, and it could be done on the street. They started with a very small but a very nice little
demonstration
play.
play.
They took a piece of paper and they wrote the Amahore, which means peace.
Okay.
Everyone has to write Amahore on his piece of paper, and then the second task they have to tear it. And the third one is to put it together again. And if they did the first job very well, it's very hard to do the next one.
Yeah.
So that it takes them a lot of time, and sometimes they have to collect people and they help them, and sometimes they can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then they reflect what they did with these people. They say, okay, how easy is this? That one person destroys the peace. How fast?
And putting it together, it takes all of us, and yet, oh wow!
And sometimes it's a lot of time. Sometimes it's many people that have to help. And even if you look at the result, it's not, when you succeeded, it's not the same than it has been before.
Yeah.
So this is very simple things, but my
that
team
communicate.
And my team again said before we started that, we have very well trained conflict people who teach conflict training.
Yeah.
And I said, let's wait and see what they come up with.
Yeah.
And this was perfect for Burundi. And now there are more than 10,000 people, just the people who are in the Better Life Initiative active, but they all have families. So it's really it became a huge movement, and our investment was one training with 15.
And it has nothing to do with, the government, Miss Biget come and what, whether you are there or not. Everyone is part of bring the peace and reconciliation in their nation. I love that. Any other successful one before we close up the show? Any other successful thing? And this one, you told me it's in Uganda, so I want you to tell us about.
Uganda. Yeah. So I think the one that we just went through is that Cavendish University was very excited about what we are doing, and they asked us to do a lecture series.
Okay.
And I thought, ooh, and my team said, no, this is not really domino dynamics.
Yeah.
And I said, well, then we, like many times, we have to sit until it fits to us.
Yeah.
And then at the end we decided, okay, I will do it, but I will not take any salary, and we will not do any theoretical test with the students at the end.
Okay.
With the do you call them students?
Yes.
The classes. But they will implement domino projects, the domino dynamic principle, according to the domino dynamic principle, in groups of 10. And there they show what they learned about leadership, because it was about transformational, value-based. We are Christians. It was about value-based, transformative leadership. And I thought, when they do that, they show what they really learned from domino dynamics.
Yeah.
And by this now, and the university promised they will give if they need the start financing, they will give that start financing. And this is what happened now at Cavendish, and we are very excited because now little projects develop out of this university in places where we never can be, where we never can go.
Yes.
Like in Sudan, in conflict areas, in the Congo, and so because the students have the access.
Yes.
They come from there.
They come from different areas coming together in the university.
Intelligent young people, the experience of self-efficiency instead of charity, that is a very relevant factor, and that keeps the thing moving. And so my team and I, we are very happy that God put that idea on our heart, and we think nature functions like this.
I like the idea, and someone is asking if how can they approach you if they have a project they are working on. Okay, so I think you can let us know. Before you get into this question, I would like to know, what is Cornerstone Domino not? Yeah? Yeah, because you've told us what you are. But now for anyone, before people start to seek out to how they can connect with you, what are you not? What shouldn't they expect from you?
We do not have a lot of means. We have very little means, but our experience is whenever there is no means, we become very creative. And we find ideas, and we do only a very small start financing. We never pay salaries, we never pay ongoing payments, because that brings people into dependency.
Yes.
And it puts pressure on us, because then we have to do advertisement, we have to raise money, we have to do this and that. We do get sponsor money,
Okay.
but this is limited, and we have to be wise. So in what we are very good is in going along with people, teaching the principle, all these things, but we always have to go with the resources that we have.
Yeah.
But we are not a normal charity NGO that cares for people. We leave the responsibility with the people on the ground.
Okay. So even as you ask how you can get through to them, please note that it is not an NGO where you're going to bring your project and then you expect money to just be poured into it. Just keep that in mind. Also, when you are looking at some of, I think before you can even get in touch with them, when you are looking at some of the solutions or identifying the problems, please make sure that you have talked to the community and you've made sure that this is something all through that they think about and some of the solutions that they have been able to discuss. So how do people get in touch with you?
We have a homepage, and I think at the end of this show there is also it's also possible to post our email.
Okay.
So it's easy to approach us by email.
All right. You can say it in info@cornerstonedomino.org. Yeah. So info@cornerstonedomino.org is how you can get in touch with them. Here in Uganda, who are your partners here that people that are already here and where their offices? Yeah.
Not all of them have offices. Some are very, very small.
Okay.
For example, we have Chira Angel Networks, we have Cavendish University, we have United Hearts of Social Economic Transformation.
Okay.
We are also partnering with African Young Leader Forum. There is reusable pads. There is food. Well, we call it Food Forest. It has a long name, but we call it just Food Forest. It's up in Gulu somewhere.
Yeah.
And also one in Bujibujo.
Bundibujo, yes. Mm.
And in Kitwetwe. And then also close to Soroti, Krita.
Okay.
And here in Kampala, a school that is called FICA, Friends of Christian International Academy.
Okay. Where is it from? It's within here in Kampala?
It's in Kampala.
Okay.
And they, for example, they got a soap mixer from us because as a Christian school, they don't get funding from the state. They don't want to raise the salary for the fee for the children.
The children
all the time.
coming in. Okay.
So they had to think, how can we get some income? And then they had that idea with soap mixing, and we always like ideas where people have to work themselves.
Yes.
And then also we have to serve the rolling system, which is there too, but this would be a bit too long to explain now. But wherever we start, further innovative ideas come up. You know?
Yeah, I like that. Now, as we close, what are some of the things, any closing remarks, especially to someone who is watching us there, anything on your mind or in your heart that you would want the person to know, especially in regards to, for me, you have really blessed me to remind us that even the poorest of the poorest, even the illiterate, everyone understands the solutions they need to get from where they are to better themselves. So for me, that is what you've communicated. It is a reminder, and I thank you for that. But any other thing on your heart that you'd like to tell the person who is watching us this morning as we close off?
I think God designed us all the way that someone has to give something. And we shouldn't make one another victims and passive and children, but we should see that in the other person and not take the responsibility of them. Because if we do, they can't grow in what they in what they can be, in who they are. And we lightly do that and think because it serves our, in our case, a doubled white conscience. So we want to be the good ones. And when I started that work, I thought it is a colonialistic thing, cross nations. But then the Ugandans, the students said to me, no, we are doing the same thing to ourselves. So we should stop that.
Thank you so much, Ms. Birgit, for that. And we hope that you've been able to learn a thing or two this Corporate Monday here on Wide Awake. You are not limited by the circumstances that you're in. Just get like-minded people to get the solutions. And some of the wealthiest people that we see around the world, Ms. Birgit, are the ones who got the solutions to the problems facing their communities. And that's how they made it big. So I like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stella. That was really fun.
Yeah, it
Thank
was
you so
fun.
much.
It was nice to have you
Thank
here.
you. Thank
And
you
now
very much.
with that, we have to wrap up the show today. But just a reminder, we have the Lunch Hour Fellowship happening from 1 to 2:15 p.m. this entire week. Also the Wednesday High Flyer service. Now, what is important to note when it comes to the Lunch Hour Fellowship, this entire week we have the presiding apostle right there, Dr. Sarada, who is going to be in there. So make it a point to come and be a part of that. Until tomorrow, have yourself a blessed day. Keep it right here on Doxa TV.